La 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 lattes were a. La 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 lattes were a. La 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 lattes were a. Hey y'all. As y'all can see by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about something very serious here. Maybe a lot of you women out there can relate, even you men. Y'all probably been in a relationship with someone and y'all had to go through this. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about the factors of me having a miscarriage. How I found out that I was pregnant, how far along I was, and basically the process that I went through once I actually miscarried. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so boom. Let me tell y'all how this story starts out. Okay, story time. Basically, it was April Fool's Day, and for some reason, females get humor out of pranking people by saying that they're pregnant on April Fool's Day. So I thought that it would be a good joke for me to pull this prank. You know what I mean? So, lo and behold, I go full throttle into this prank, right? So nobody believes me. So I decide, you know what? Listen, I'm about to go to the 99-cent store. Y'all don't believe me? I'm going to go and get a pregnancy test. I'm going to pee on the stick and I'm going to show y'all I'm really pregnant. So now in my mind, I'm finding this really, really funny. Because even on my way to the 99-cent store, I'm on the phone. And we ain't going to say no names. But the person is like, oh, you serious? You really going to the 99-cent store to get a pregnancy test? So you not joking? Like, you must really be pregnant. So I'm like, yeah. But being that y'all think I'm joking, I'm going to do y'all the service of, taking the pregnancy test. So, mind you, I'm on the phone chit-chatting, walking to the 99-cent store to get my little stick test. So I get to the 99-cent store, and of course, if you from the hood, those little 99-cent store tests work, okay? They don't lie. If you pregnant, them shits will definitely let you know you're knocked up. So don't think that because they not the ones from maybe Rite Aid or CVS or Walgreens that show up and actually says you pregnant that them shits don't work. They work. But anyway, let's get back. So you never buy one. You always buy two to make sure, just in case the first one is a liar. You want to have a backup. So I buy 2 pregnancy tests or whatever the case may be. Still on the phone, so I got the 2 pregnancy tests. So the person on the phone hear me ask for the pregnancy tests. So now, even though I'm full on joking, they're fully convinced now because they done heard me go in the 99-cent store, ask these people for these pregnancy tests. Like, a person wouldn't go that far if they was joking, but me being who I am, I really would. So walking home. So now I get home. I'm drinking mad water while I'm outside so I could have to use the bathroom by the time I get in the house. So now I get in the house or whatever, and I'm on the phone like, let me call you on video call or whatever the case may be. You think I'm lying or whatever. So I'm, peas in the cup. So now at this point, I'm thinking that my joke is about to blow up in my face because these pregnancy tests is going to come up negative than a mother. Okay? So I take the test, the little squirt thing, and I drop it on each test. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you what's funny. When I did the first one, and I dropped the, little couple of drops of pee on the test or whatever, out the corner of my eye, I thought I faintly seen a double line appearing, but I was so eager to open the second one to drop the drops on it that I really didn't fully pay it attention. So yeah, now I done dropped the drop on both of them. So now I'm talking on the phone. I done left out the bathroom. I set them in the shelf or whatever the case may be. Give them a minute to marinate, do what they do. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go back in the bathroom so I can show you my test. Listen, y'all. Y'all, when I get in the bathroom, okay, I could look and see the test as I'm walking through the bathroom door. So as I walk through the bathroom door and proceed to glance at the test, I'm looking like, wait a minute, hold on. I know I ain't seeing, because now the joke has gone awry mentally, not physically yet, mentally, because I'm still mentally saying this to myself. I haven't yet to say it to the person on the phone, because remember, I'm supposed to be lying here. So when I walk into the bathroom fully and I see that these tests both got double lines on it, the reaction that the person on the phone got was actually my real reaction, because the same way I'm proving to them at this point in time that I'm pregnant and I was lying, I'm actually proving to myself that I'm pregnant and I'm not lying. Do you know what this means? Oh no. This joke has just went left. So now the people on the phone is all happy, like, oh wow, congratulations. And in my mind I'm thinking like, bitch, you gotta be kidding me. No, like panicking on the inside, for real, for real. But as the little hours start to go on, I start to, ingest it a little bit more, like, wow, this is really what's happening right now. Like, I really took a pregnancy test, 2 of them, and they really came back positive. How does that happen? And how long has this been the case before I decided to tell this lie? I'm like having all type of thoughts go through my mind right now at this point in time. And then on top of the fact, I wasn't having no symptoms that would have let me know anything. Okay? I was chilling. Like chilling. So anyway, as you supposed to, the next morning comes along and I call, make an appointment at the doctor's office or whatever the case may be. Regular procedure. So I go to the doctor or whatever the case may be. When I get to the doctor's office, they check me in. I sit for a minute. They call me in the little office or whatever. So I go in, they give me the little urine cup. The lady that assists the nurse gave me the little urine cup or whatever, told me to go, take urine. The nurse will be in with me in a minute. So I go take urine or whatever, give it back to the lady or whatever, sit down, wait for the nurse. So before the nurse comes in, I have to go and basically fill out some paperwork in the waiting area. So by the time I get back in the little room, the room where they check you out or whatever, the nurse is in there and they done took their own little dipstick test, I guess, from the urine that I done gave them or whatever. Not I guess, definitely, because I would hope it wasn't somebody else's urine. The fuck? But they done took a little dipstick test from the urine. So, cool. I see they dipstick test also got double lines on it. So, my dipstick test wasn't lying. So, okay. So she confirms the fact that the dipstick test came back positive or whatever, that she's going to send my urine down to the lab or whatever. And she wanted me to take some blood work before I leave so they could check my hormone, send my blood to the lab as well so they could check my hormone levels to see, how everything was coming along. But in the meantime, before I came back for that appointment, she had put an appointment in place for me to be able to go, to take a sonogram and stuff like that, so they could basically try to figure out how far along I was by the time I came back for my next appointment. So that way my labs would be back, the results from my sono would be back, everything would be 1 and 1. Cool. So I leaves the doctor that day. You understand what I'm saying? Now I think I'm having like a happy moment, like, wow, like I'm really about to have a whole baby. Like, and it seemed like once I actually seen that those pregnancy tests is confirmed that I was knocked up, I started like just instantly getting symptoms out of nowhere. Like now I'm nauseous, or like just Crazy. I don't know if it was a mental thing or what, but instantly I now can't eat nothing, can't smell nothing. The everything just turns me off. Okay? So I get home. I'm excited about how my little doctor's appointment went. Letting everybody know, well, yeah, I got a sonogram to go to in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I get to see how far along I am. I'm so excited. Like Kevin Hart, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So let's fast forward. Okay, so now let's fast forward into the fact is that the week or two done went by. Now I'm going to my appointment or whatever. Listen, I got up that morning. I got all primped and pressed. I was happy about this appointment, child. Listen, I went in there looking good, like I was going to a pageant or something. All right. So anyway, I goes to the sonogram appointment. Once again, same routine. I check in. They tell me sit down, So I'm waiting for the doctor to call me or whatever so I could go in the back, take my sonogram or whatever. Cool. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by. They finally called me back there, whatever. So it was a nice black lady that called me to the back. Me and her chit chat, and she telling me about her little nephew or whatever the case may be. Just regular casual conversation. She making me comfortable. She giving me this little paper gown, tell me to go in the next room, take my clothes off and put the gown on so that way we would be able to go in the room and do the sonogram. Okay, so now she goes in the sonogram room. I go change my clothes, put on a little paper gown that they give you or whatever. So now I proceed to go into the sonogram room where the doctor is at. So we talking still. In the process, she get the gel, that they put on your stomach or whatever the case may be. And she gets the little instrument that they use, that's attached to the machine, the thingy thing, the sonogram machine, whatever. And she starts moving around and she's looking at the screen, and me and her still talking while she's looking and doing what it is that she's doing or whatever. So now in the process of her looking around and doing what it is that she's doing, I'm noticing that our conversation has slowed down tremendously. But I'm not really stressing it because I'm like, maybe she focused. So let her do her job because that's what I'm here for. And we pick up where we left off once we finish this. So I'm waiting for her, to let me know what she's identifying on the screen or whatever the case may be. So, mind you, like I said, our conversation just started to slow down tremendously. So, after she did everything she did, I heard the thing take a couple of pictures, couple of snapshots or whatever. So now she like, all right, get dressed, meet me in the office. So I'm like, all right. So I'm all excited, like, yeah, I'm about to, because I've been waiting, to find out how many weeks I am. I've been waiting. I've been guesstimating, trying to estimate when I could have possibly, how I could have possibly, because like I told y'all, this all started out as a joke. So now, anyway, I get dressed. I go in the office where she at or whatever the case may be. So now I'm just sitting there with butterflies in my stomach waiting to hear what she got to say. So I'm noticing that the look in her face ain't the same look in her face when we started talking when I first went in the room with her. So now I'm kind of taken back like, all right, well, what's going on? And I'm like in my head at this point in time, well, God, if my baby missing a toe, or arm, a leg, anything at this point, I can handle that. Like, that's a blessing. I wouldn't even mind that. I can still love something that would be a part of me. Don't matter. So, anyway, she proceeds to go, well, unfortunately, anytime somebody start off a conversation with unfortunately, anything that comes after that ain't good. So now I take this deep ass swallow, like, just like that, right? So she like, unfortunately, yeah. Basically, I looked at your sonogram and it's showing abnormalities, if I'm saying that word correctly, to the embryo. So now I'm thinking like, okay, continue, because like I said, little abnormal don't really bother me. I'm gonna love regardless. Love is love. So, all right, get to the point, lady. So she's like, yes, in the point of conception, the embryo wasn't fully, I'm like, fully, this is what my mental is picking up at the time. Because, when you're taking in bad information, everything seems like it slows down by 10. Yeah. So, anyway, she's like, yeah, it didn't fully get a chance to form in the process of growth. As far as the embryo, it got to a certain stage and it didn't grow any further. So on the sonogram, instead of where you would see a full, shape of what normally would be like, the weird looking shaped baby or whatever the case may be when it's in its ugly phase, it wasn't that. What she seen was blackness. Like, and it's not supposed to be any blackness in the ovary area and the belly, in the sac area. Let me put it that way. So she said, basically, with that, you're about 10 weeks gestational right now. I'm going to give you some prescriptions for you to go to the pharmacy when you leave here. I need you to take those pills because basically I was going to have to pass this unformed embryo on my own. Mentally, I'm fucked up at this point. I think she's speaking Spanish or whatever language because anything after unfortunately, I'm not sure I took in properly. I just got stuck at unfortunately, prescription, and pass. If you get what I'm saying. So I leaves there all fucked up. Now I'm on my phone. The first thing you do is call the person that's closest to you that could kind of talk some comfort into you. So I'm on my phone like, oh my God, I can't believe XYZ, so and so and so. I'm on my way to this pharmacy right now to get these pills that she prescribed. But in my mind and in my heart of hearts, like, you really believe or you want to believe that God is going to step in. Well, you hoping at this point in time, God is going to step in and fix whatever is going on or going wrong. So the case won't even be the case. Like, mentally, you tell yourself, no, this is not what's about to happen, basically. So I get the prescription, I get home. So when I get home, I take the pills or whatever. Couple of hours go by. When I tell you my stomach started cramping like never before, oh my God. Oh my God, I would not wish those cramps on my worst enemy. When I tell y'all, I'm so serious. So yeah, my stomach is cramping. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm trying to maneuver, take showers, take baths, like, lay in the bed with a heating pad, all different type of tactics to like get this pain to chill out. None of it was working. So as the hours went on, along with the pain and the cramping, now I'm bleeding. Once I seen the first spot of blood, because if you're a woman, like, I'm not saying that some people don't have cases where they spot where they pregnant and such and so on. Some do, but in some cases you don't. And if you do, that's a sign that something is not right. So you better get to the nearest hospital fast. So I'm noticing that I'm spotting at first, and then the spotting turns into heavy bleeding along with the cramping. So lo and behold, I feel like there's one big gush at some point, and I could literally feel this unformed or unfully formed embryo, so to speak, passing through my vajayjay. When I tell you that was the hardest moment in my life, to actually sit in the bathroom in that moment, and I'm physically holding this thing in my hand, looking at it like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So now I'm in panic mode within myself. Okay? I am in panic mode within myself. So I wraps up this embryo thing or whatever, and I call 911 and I let them know what's going on and what happened and so on and so forth. And sooner or later the ambulance winds up coming. Well, I get to ride and I goes to the hospital. Instead of taking the ambulance, I took a ride. I got a ride to the hospital. So once I get to the hospital and I let them know again what happened, because for some reason when you're sick or you hurt or you injured and you go into the hospital, they make you tell the same thing that happened to you to about 20 different people. Whatever. I get there, I let them know whatever. So the lady tells me, okay, well, good. We're just going to check you to make sure that all the pieces in which needed to remove itself had, removed itself. If not, we're going to have to send you for a DNC for you to basically get the remainders of the baby out of you. So, unluckily, this is how they say it. She says, luckily, everything came out. Everything that someone says to you after that point, you take harsh. Because I'm going to tell you, in my mind, I know I can't control certain things, but I just felt like a complete failure as a woman. Like, my body failed me as a woman within that moment. Like, what was wrong with me that I couldn't create this simple task to be able to bring life into this world, in which I would have loved to be able to do so much? Because then your mind starts processing all type of negative thoughts about people that actually have kids and don't take care of them. And you like, here it is, I actually want my baby to be able to love my baby and nurture my baby and be able to be everything to my baby like my baby would be everything to me, and my baby was taken away from me. Like, that's how you feel. Like, my baby was taken away from me. And then you got these frivolous people out here that actually are able to have kids and don't do right by them. Like, mentally, I went into a depression for a while. And the way that I dealt with it was by not speaking about it. But I noticed that in the back of my mind, which needs to come to my front, is that it's something that I actually need to deal with so I can get over. Because every now and again and so often, it still plagues me as a person, because it kind of makes you feel incomplete. Now, thankfully, unlike some people, I had the luxury of being able to have other children. So even though I lost this baby, I do still have other babies, but no one person replaces the next. One life does not replace the other. So you cannot put one person in place of another. So even though that's something that I have, that's something I would have had, and it's still something that I wanted. So I basically came here to do this video because there's a lot of women that dealt with and have dealt with the same situation that I have. And it's something that's very hurtful as a woman. Some women don't want kids, to each their own. But for a woman that embellishes the thought of having children, or wouldn't mind having something other than their self or an outsider to love, something to call their own, you understand? It's a very hard pill to swallow, because you feel like, what's going on in my body that collectively is not connecting for me to be able to bring forth this gift, so to speak. But your mind don't tell you shit like that at the time. It tell you shit like, you got all type of crackheads, cokeheads, drug addicts out here having babies. I ain't doing none of that. And here it is, my shit broke down, busted and disgusted, can't do one thing. Like, you start going back and forth with yourself, even down to the factors of saying, oh, well, it was in God's hands and maybe it was for the best. But how could you losing something to that extent be for the best? So I would never say that. I mean, only he knows why he do the things that he do. But within that moment, in that time, and in your grieving, you don't want to hear none of that. And then a lot of people think that because the baby didn't actually come to term, or didn't never make it in the physical, that is not as effective as a full-term baby passing away. Yes, it is. Once you condition your mind into accepting something as major and big as that as a baby, and you wind up losing it, that shit will drive you crazy. So me personally, I know I'm not the only person that has gone through something to this extent, felt down on myself because this was something that I went through, on top of the fact feeling incomplete as a woman at the time of going through it. Like, it's a battle. It's a battle. And then if you never actually get the chance to take on that opportunity again to actually be able to conceive, the thought of the loss that you did have just plays on your mind over and over and over again. But this is Latte, coming to you from Latte's World. I just wanted to come and do a little story time, open up to my viewers, let them know a little bit of the things that I'm dealing with, because I'm pretty sure somebody else has dealt with it. And I don't know, maybe something I said in this video you could relate to if you've been through it. And like I said, it's something that men and women grieve from, because you make a baby with a partner. So it's something that you and another person is losing together. And when you want to give somebody something as precious as that, or you and a person is expecting to share, the factors of, on top of having to go back and tell all of the people that you done told that you are pregnant, that is no longer going to be, you understand? Or is no longer going to, you know, I don't even like to say it at this point, but unfortunately, you're no longer going to be having a baby. So to have to take that in yourself and then have to be able to relay that to others after you done gave out what you thought was great news, to have to now give out devastating news is like devastating on top of devastating. I don't have my ring light on right now, so the lighting is kind of crazy. Let me step in here. But yeah, you see I got glitter anywhere, everywhere. But that's what I came back to say. Like I said, love is love, and this is Latte. Hopefully this video reached somebody to let them know that they or I've experienced the same thing possibly they've experienced it. I guess that's something that we could relate upon. Drop in the comments if you've ever experienced something to the extent of that, if you don't mind speaking on it. Or you could hit me on one of my social networks in my messenger, DM, or whatever. However you choose to communicate with me, and let me know there. And I'm Lattes were a.